He is Dr. Godfrey McAllister. His speech is an educational speech. Madam timer is 8 to 10 minutes. So we're going to show the 8 at green, 9 yellow, at 10.
Excuse me. No, she has the instructions.
Yeah.
So let me welcome again, once again, Dr. Godfrey McAllister.
Sit down, I say. I say, sit down. Picture this. An agitated father, out of control, because as far as he was concerned, his son was out of control. He repeated, I say to you, sit down. The little boy refused to sit down. So what did the father do? He used his superior strength and size, and he forced the child to sit down. The child scowled and looked at him and said, I might be sitting on the outside, but I'm standing on the inside. Ladies and gentlemen, this is something that we must understand if we ever are going to master the art of standing tall even when we fall. The fact is that it has nothing to do with whether you're short or tall, black or white, Latino, Asian, gay, straight. It has nothing to do with whether you're rich or poor. Those things are impositions that circumstances place on us. What matters is your perspective of yourself. You may have heard of Winnie the Pooh. And Winnie the Pooh has made some memorable statements. And one of them is, I'm short, fat, and I'm proud of that. Any takers on that one? Anybody can relate to that? What about the other one? I'm not short, I'm just more down to earth than most people. That's not humor. That's positive thinking. That's taking the lemon that life throws at you and turning it into lemonade. You may think what you want to think of me, that doesn't affect me. What affects me is what I think of me. And so I challenge each and every one of us here this afternoon to ask ourselves the question, what do we think of ourselves? Falling is natural. You know, one of the easiest ways to parse any good speech, assuming it has a good title, is to just pay attention to the words. How do we stand tall even when we fall short? Let's take the words. We take it for granted that everybody can stand. Everybody knows to stand. You say standing is natural, right? Is it? It's wrong. Standing is not natural. If standing is natural, then when your little boy was born, you know, after those hard hours of labor, he would come out standing, speaking, and wouldn't that have saved him a lot of years? But that's not how it works. This is how it works. We start off on the ground in a fallen state. And then you can see for yourself, we all have the experience of our children, what happens as time goes by. We certainly learn to stand physically, but we have to practice to stand tall. One of the things that concerns us is the fact that we're never too sure exactly who we are. You know, I do not know how many people are not satisfied with the way they were born. I lived in a country where the black people lived on one side and the white people lived on the other side. And one day I was walking down the road and I saw some dogs on the white people's side, and I was about to pass the dogs. I got very scared, but then I saw a white man who was walking past, and he was walking smoking a pipe. And he was walking smoking a pipe, and the dogs just bowed in submission. And so I figured, well, if the white man can smoke a pipe and the dogs don't bother him, then so can I. So I went. Little did I know that when the dogs were bowing their heads, they were actually giving God thanks for the meal which they were about to eat. And so just as when I approached them, they stopped saying their prayers. And they realized it was now time to eat. And that's exactly what they tried to do. But one of the things that I realized is that from that day, I decided that all I wanted to do was to become a white man, since I couldn't smoke a pipe. Until one day I realized that white people spend most of their time, well, at least much of their time, on the beach for the whole day, trying to get a tan so that they would look more like me. I said, no, hold on, no. I'm going to stick with being a black man. And let me now become the best black man that I can be. I wish I was 6 feet 8 inches tall. I am not. So I'm going to try to become the best that I can be with what I have. And when you look at a man like Nicholas Vujicic, you've seen him on more than one occasion. And for you men, especially those who are not married, if you ever want to get a wife looking as sexy as she is, take care of your 2 arms and your 2 feet. How do you stand tall even when you fall short? One of the ways that we can stand tall in times of difficult circumstances is by practicing to stand tall. The very first thing that is necessary is a good foundation. How many people understand a little bit about martial arts? Anybody here? Well, because you understand martial arts, I'm not going to bother to give my story anymore because I don't want to say the wrong thing. But there are certain stances that are not recommended. This is not recommended if you're about to fight. Okay? This is not a good stance either. The important thing is to stand in such a way that regardless of where you are hit from, your chances of remaining in good balance is greatest. But how many people also know that the more weight you have to carry above, the stronger your legs have to be? Let us take this into the literal now. Many of us would like to stand tall in the face of a crisis, but we are not prepared. Our foundation is weak. This great tree that you're looking at can go up to 300 feet tall. But because it can go up to 300 feet tall, the roots have got to be very special. You may think, well, all those roots probably go to 300 feet deep. They do not. They don't go up beyond 14 inches, 14 feet, sorry. And on some occasions, the root structure even stops at 3 feet. But those roots extend for about 300 feet. And they intertwine and interlock with all the neighboring sequoia. They interlock with all the neighboring trees. And what do they get? Stability. Toastmasters is a great organization for us to network. We don't come here to do tests and do examinations. We come here to learn and to grow. We come here to make mistakes and to fail within a comfortable environment. But it's important that if you're ever to be able to stand tall, when things get rough, your foundation has got to be strong. If you're going to be doing a project And in order for you to do your project, you prepare 6 minutes or 10 minutes before the time for the project, you're doing yourself a disservice. Toastmasters International gives us a great opportunity to get our roots as deep as we want. It only takes 40 speeches, 3 manuals, make that 7 manuals to get a DTM. But there are 30 manuals that we can study. How do you support your club? Do you support your club by being present? Do you support your club by taking on roles that you want to take on? Do you support your club by supporting it financially? It takes cash to care. And whatever the level of support is, what you put into your club will help you to get strong. How do you stand tall even when you fall? Fall you will. There's no two ways about that. You will fall. Problems will arise. Things will happen. You will fall. Whether or not you stand tall depends on what you think about yourself. Whether you see yourself as the victim or the victor, the conquered or the conqueror. I say to you, reinvent if necessary your perspective of yourself, and make sure that you are ready when the trials of life confront you, when things get rough, that you are ready to stand tall, even though you may fall.